Today's video is sponsored by Black Gold Compost Company. I want to thank the good people over at Black Gold for the generous donation of all this beautiful black cow manure that we use in our video today, and it's made a tremendous success in our garden. I've been using black cow for many years, ever since 1980, and it's always made a tremendous difference in my garden, and I've been very pleased with our product. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Black Gold, for sponsoring our channel. Well, good morning, friends. Got another little cherry tomato I want to share with you today. It's called a Washington cherry. We'll be right back after the break. Well, welcome back, tomato lovers. Today I got a little cherry tomato I wanted to share with you. It's called a Washington cherry. This is a determinate tomato, so it's only going to bear one time. So if you want to get a whole bunch of these, then you need to plant a whole bunch of them. And I got these seeds at johnnyseed.com, so if you want to order some of these seeds for your spring garden, go check out their website. They got a wide variety of everything you can think of. So this is a good place to get seeds, and I think you would be pleased with these Washington cherries. So they're perfect for like your back patio if you want to put a few plants out there in some pots, containers, and go pick off of them. I think it'd be awesome for you. But anyway, we're going to grow these. I got them started in the trays, and we'll get them germinating, get them up where they're ready to transplant, and then we'll come back in the days ahead when they're ready to go, and we'll put them in some 3-gallon containers. We're going to grow them right over there in the container garden up on the grow table, and we'll watch the progression of these all the way out until we get to harvest some. Have a nice salad or a nice snack. I like them just eating them like candy. But anyway, these are a good little cherry tomato. So we'll be back in the days ahead, and we'll watch the progression of these together. See you soon. Well, our Washington cherry tomatoes have been in the seed starting rack for 10 days today. As you can see, they're starting to emerge. No true leaves yet, but they're getting there. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks and take a look at the progress until we get them ready to harden off and get into the containers. Be back in a couple of weeks. Well, good morning. How you like them beautiful little Washington cherry tomatoes? Nice little determinate variety of patio tomatoes. They've been out here on the hardening table for about 5 days now, and today we're going to get these things planted into some 3-gallon containers and get them over to the grow table and get these things started to grow. So let's get busy, and we'll plant these together. Okay, I got all my containers. These are 3-gallon containers. This is what I'm going to be using for these patio tomatoes. I fill them up about 2/3 of the way, about 3 inches from the rim. That's as high up as I fill it with the container soil initially. And this potting mix that I'm using right here is my own homemade stuff. If you want to make this yourself, we have a video on our channel. Go check it out. It's how to make your own container mix at home. If you're just doing 2 or 3 containers, just go buy yourself a bag of potting mix at your local nursery. But if you've got a lot of containers, it might behoove you to just make up your own mix like I do. It stretches it a lot further. But anyway, this is how I get started. I get it about 2 or 3 inches from the rim. And then I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of blood meal to push the nitrogen, and about 3 tablespoons of bone meal to push the phosphorus. I want the phosphorus so it'll help develop great root growth and produce lots of blooms. And I want the blood meal so it gives a boost of nitrogen to push good, healthy stem and leaf development, foliage. So let me get these started. I'm gonna put the bone meal and the blood meal in here. Then I'm gonna flood this container with water until it stands at about 2 inches of water, and I'll let that soak all the way down through the container so that it will pre-moisten all the soil that's in here all the way through on the bottom, because it's very dry from the peat. So we'll pre-soak that. It takes about 15 minutes for it to soak on through, and then at that point we'll go to the next step. So let me get started here. Okay, all of our pots have soaked down and they're good and pre-moistened. And as you can see, when it gets wet like that, that dry peat absorbs that water. You see how it sinks down some more, so it's down in the pot some. So at this point, what I want to do is add some more of my container mix that's still dry and bring this up to about 1 inch below the top of the rim here. So let me grab some more of that. And there we go. Next step is I put a hole in here with my hand, and I like to go from the tip of my middle finger to the middle of my palm. And that's the depth that I want to make for these determinate tomatoes. Now, when I got the hole dug, the next thing I want to do is add in some Epsom salt, about a tablespoon of Epsom salt right in the hole. Then I'm going to put another tablespoon of bone meal and another tablespoon of blood meal and another tablespoon of garden lime. Now this garden lime is nothing but pulverized dolomitic limestone. You can get it at any garden nursery. The reason that you want to add this Epsom salt and the garden lime is tomatoes are inherently deficient of magnesium. So if I put in the Epsom salt and the garden lime, that will give them a good shot of that magnesium sulfate, which greatly reduces blossom end rot. So always add the lime and the Epsom salt whenever you're planting a tomato, because if you don't, inevitably you're going to get blossom end rot. Okay, now there's the plant. It's installed. I put it in the hole, I collapse the sides, and I pack it down nice and tight. And I usually add just a little bit more soil, because I know when this gets wet it's going to sink, right? So I'll add a little bit more soil to give it enough soil to sink down when it gets wet again, because I'm going to have to water this when I get it over to the table. Because remember, the bottom 2/3 of the pot's already soaked. So now that I've added this next third of the pot, it's dry and it needs to be watered in. The last thing I do to these is I add in some of these bamboo canes. Now you can get these canes at any garden center. If you can't find them anywhere, look on our About page on the back of our channel, on our Amazon storefront link, and we have these available on there if you want to get them, if you can't find them anywhere. But what I do with these is I put them in a triangular pattern around the stem of that tomato, so that I trap the plant inside that framework of those bamboo canes. See how it's more stabilized now? When it's going to get into wind and blow it around, it's got a little bit of support. Water, irrigation, rain, anything that's hitting this, it gives it a little help. And I just leave these stakes in here for the life of the plant. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these tomatoes planted, and we'll get them over to the grow table and set them out, and we'll water them in that final time and get them going. Be right back. Well, there we go. We got 30 of the Washington cherry patio tomatoes installed and onto the grow table. They'll be producing in the days ahead. So we'll be back in about 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll look at the progression of these beautiful little determinate tomato plants and watch them grow all the way up until we harvest. So we'll be back in about 3 or 4 weeks. See you then. Well, good morning, friends. Our little Washington cherries have been in the pots, you know, ever since March the 10th when we planted them from seed, and today is April the 21st, so they've done fantastic. You know, we've got really good plant development, beautiful stems. They're getting some height on them. If you look up close, you can see where the plants are actually putting on their blooms. So, I mean, we're getting real close to getting some tomatoes now, so it won't be very much longer at all. But these plants are doing great. We got 2 tables full of them, so we got plenty of them. And the reason, you know, for that is they're determinate, remember? So once they put on fruit, that's it. So we got 2 tables to last us, give us plenty of them for ourselves as well as sharing. So we're looking forward to the days ahead when we can actually start to harvest these beautiful Washington cherry tomatoes. So we'll be back in the days ahead. Get us some tomatoes together. See you soon. Well, good morning. Our Washington cherries are starting to ripen. They've started to turn red in the last week or so, and if you'll take a look right up in here, you can see a little cluster of the tomatoes that are ready to pick. So today what I wanted to do is just pick a bowl full of them and take them into Nancy and give her a little bowl of cherry tomatoes, because she just loves to eat them things almost like a snack. She loves them. So let's get her a bowl full and take them in, and let's put a smile on her face. Let's get it started. Well, I got her a bowl. That's a pretty good bowl for our first picking, you know, and we get several harvests off of these plants before they give up. But I did want you to take a look at these things up close. I mean, look at the size of those cherry tomatoes. They're pretty good size, you know, at least 1 inch in diameter, which is a good size for a cherry tomato. So I guess you want me to test one. Mm-hmm. Oh man, those are very sweet and very juicy. So anyway, I thank you for watching with us on this little journey of these beautiful Washington cherry tomatoes. This may be a little patio tomato you want to put in your spring garden this year. So we thank you for watching, and I hope our video brought some joy to your heart and a smile to your face. And so till me and Nancy see you next time, always remember to be thankful for everything we get from our garden. By his hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. Amen.
Have a blessed day.